If you're wondering, no, that's not thunder. That's people going through the fucking sky. Woo! Anyway, just that way you're aware. Okay, it's a bunch of jets. Alright? Anyway, I'm gonna give my Season 4 review. Part 1 of Season 4 of Dragon's Rising. And I'm saying Part 1 because they released like 10 episodes. You know, they have like 10 weeks where they just release like one episode at a time, I think how it goes. Something like that. Well, anyway, they just released half a season. And I thought I was going to finish it by Tuesday or Wednesday. And I did kind of troll people a little bit without realizing it, because I called Tuesday the fucking, what was it? The fucking, I called Tuesday the fucking 13th, you know? No, that'd be the 14th, okay? Today is Monday. Well, anyway, on to the review of the show. First of all, if you're not into Lego Ninjago, or if you're not familiar with the franchise, it's been going on for a while. You don't have to be like super deep into the lore to really, enjoy the series. Now, you might not get all the references or whatever because you didn't watch the whole show, you didn't watch the whole series. I get that, but man, could say the same about a lot of other franchises, okay? Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't really start getting into watching stuff like, say, the Marvel until Endgame, But even then, I'm not really big into it. That's the Lego Ninjago franchise is the only franchise I've been keeping up with, ever since the movie came out. I watched the entire original series, and when the movie came out originally, I was like, hey, this is a pretty good show. And I watched it, I enjoyed it. And then I became a Lego Ninjago enjoyer after some time. Once the next show eventually came out, I really started to become a hardcore fan. And then as the series was going on, I started to just really be into Lego Ninjago in general, And now that the newest half of the newest season of the latest show has come out, it's so great, like we've already gone through 3 seasons. Now I've gone through half of the 4th season. I binge watched a lot of it, and the good thing about the show now is that a lot of the episodes are right around 23-22 minutes per episode, so it saves me a lot of time, so I get to binge watch a lot more. And it's in that nice medium, Once you get to that long form, like YouTube video long, where it's like between, I want to say, 15 to 30 minutes, somewhere around that range, I would say that's like the peak, That's where, like, it starts to get good in my terms of, like, making a short form episode, Because, well, you get to explain a lot of lore without having to make like an hour-long episode, or make like a bunch of little mini episodes just to explain one thing, like they used to do with the original series, Like, that's what it was for a time. But it saves a lot of time to watch these episodes. You get to know a lot of the lore, and you get to go through a lot of the seasons, because unlike anime, where you have like a bajillion different seasons and then a bajillion different episodes, but they label it as all like 3 seasons for some reason on the streaming, you actually get to see all the stuff so far, Like, that's how it is. That's the thing, because it's one of those franchises where if you can keep up with it, you'll be fine, you know, but you don't have to keep up with everything that Lego Ninjago does or Lego Ninjago gets involved in. Some people do, some people don't. But, like, if you know me, you know, like, I've been there for almost, like, 10 years now. 9-10 years now. You know, I've been, like, deep into it, so I practically kind of grew up on it. Not as much as others, but I got a little earlier into the game, so to speak. But, yeah, if you're watching the show, this is going to be a spoilers, okay? This is going to be a spoilers to the latest season of Season 4 of Lego Ninjago Dragons Rising. So if you haven't seen that yet, at least time of recording, I'm going to be giving spoilers because there's no else way I can really describe it. So if you haven't seen it, you can go watch it now if you want, or save this on your save videos to watch later or whatever list or whatever playlist you put on to do that. Save it for now and then watch this later and see if your review goes to it. Now, Lego Ninjago, despite being for all ages, not exactly meant for everyone, but it's meant for anyone who wants to watch it, you know? But anyway, yeah, like I said, you can watch this later if you've already seen it. But for those who have seen it, for those who are, you know, informed, I guess you could say, alright, I'm going to start talking about it. First of all, peak. Okay, this is peak. Alright, this is my opinion. It is peak. Okay, like, yeah, there's some stuff that is leading up to it, and there needs to be a little bit more, you know, TV show and lore to be explained for the second half, but it's pretty peak overall, you know. So far, there has been some weird, mysterious thing, dawn all around, you know what I mean? You know, what's his name? The electrocution guy. He got his memories back, or slowly started getting his memories back. I think it was Jay. Whatever. Wu hasn't returned so far. I want Brown Ninja to return. Lord Garmadon has yet to return, but that's probably for season, you know, 6 or 7 when they get that far, if they get that far. Which they probably will, considering that it's a pretty popular show, you know? Like, it's a pretty international thing. Not just, you know, in certain countries, but in any country, any continent, really, because it's just sort of the one original show. If you don't know, Lego Ninjago is the only original series that Lego really has outside of the Lego movie and like a few other things, you know, for like children or whatever. But what I can hope is, like, basically there was some big battle and some other stuff happened and like some other groups were like separating, got weird monsters and shit. I'm the true empress. They should be worshipping me, or whatever that lady said. Oh yeah, it's organic, you know. And there's some other stuff going on there, you know. Some strange team-ups. You know, got to know that one character's dad. You know, that was a little bit strange to put in there, but strange things happen in this series. Otherwise, pretty peak. It seems like that one girl's parents were working with the Empress still, you know? She turned into like a weird villain thing, and it, I guess, was the weapon was like controlling her, I guess. I don't know, man. It's some strange shit. And then I found out that the elemental master of green, you know, the Ninjago power, is the elemental master of life. And he didn't hit puberty exactly, like he skipped that kind of session, you know, that kind of thing. So it's kind of funny knowing that he had to meet like a version of himself and fight himself, you know, for that. I'm talking about Lloyd Garmadon here, if you know what I'm talking about, that context. That was so strange. And then at the end, it mostly ended on a mostly good note. But, you know, everybody's teaming up, everybody's joining together, you know, for the ones that are, you know, relevant to the current season at that moment. We're joining together, but there are a couple of more problems they gotta fix. And at the very end, there was Roz. And obviously, if you watched it, or if you heard of the character, he's like a dragon character looking guy. Not dragon character, he's a lion. Like, he has like a weird lion's head for a body. You know, like he has a lion's head and he has like a Lego body. You know, like that kind of thing. But he was like, I got new icons. Rah! You know, like he looks like he was rightfully pissed. You know, and he was in the place of all dawn. You know? I don't know what you would call it. You know? Maybe call it Dawn Castle. You know? Or a Castle of Temptation. Perhaps. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe the true villain is the friends we made along the way. Okay. Or the true villain is the first Spinjitzu master or something. And this is like a plan. You know? But I have a feeling that the longest this specific show in the series is going to run for is like 7 seasons. I'm being honest. Or maybe less or more in the future. That depends. But what I'm really hoping is that this franchise that I'm talking about, this Lego Ninjago franchise, I hope they can start making like movies for it and stuff, unlike the 2017 one. Don't get me wrong, it's a good movie, it's a great movie, but it's disconnected from the lore. You know, if you ever watched the movie, good movie though, still a good movie. It's just the only real problem with that movie is that it was disconnected from the lore, like it was a whole separate thing. You know, they were trying to pull off like a DC where the Arrowverse was separate from, you know, the universe of the movies, you know, like still in the same like characters, still the same IP or whatever, but it's like a separate thing, so to speak. You know, like the Spider-Man in the TV show is different from the Spider-Man in the movies. That kind of thing. You know? But if you ask me, what they should do is they should start adding more shows to the lore. And maybe about like a maximum of like 12 or 13 shows. You know, maximum. That are either, some shows are in the middle of their era and some new shows start, some new shows end, some older shows end, you know, that kind of thing. So that way, you know, you have multiple options, you know what I mean? Where it's like, if you want to just continue on one specific part of the lore, you can just go to that one specific way. And then they'll have like crossover episodes. But if you ask me, if I had a TV show, I wouldn't have crossover episodes until like the end of season 3, or use it as like a season, like to hopefully encourage a season 4 cliffhanger. Like that's what I would do, you know, because season 1, you have to introduce the people to this world if they're invested already, and you know, that's when it's all new and all crazy and all out there and experimental. And then 2, as the Gen Zers say, lock in. You know, the season 2 is when you really start to settle into this universe. You get to really get into the big serious part of it. And then season 3, that's where you start like expanding upon the lore and start getting really deep into it, you know. And I would say right around the end of it is when you have enough story in the storyline to really be like, because you have enough like story to really tell with this universe, you know. It's basically like the 60 minutes of a long movie, you know, the first 60 minutes. Once you get done with the first 60 minutes, then you get to fully know what the true story is about. Like, it's enough time for you to truly understand it. That's basically what the end of season 3 should be with most shows, you know, if you ask me, in my opinion. That kind of stuff, you know. And similar thing with multiverse stuff, unless your entire show, unless you're doing like what do you call it, like a DC Legends of Tomorrow or something, I wouldn't really recommend, having crossover episodes, or say, you know, multiverse stuff, that kind of thing. And even if you do have a show like that, that's meant for like crossover episodes, I would say don't really add it until like after the first season, you know, because you start to get used to it. Or if the whole thing is just really meant to be for it, you know, I would say like either make it really, really good, or make it like a part of the whole show where it's just kind of like the whole thing, you know, where it's like it starts that way to begin with, like a Super Smash Bros, you know, because that's what Legends of Tomorrow basically was. That was like the Super Smash Bros, so to speak, metaphorically speaking, of the Arrowverse, you know? Like, that's what that was. But anyway, back onto topic. This Lego Ninjago show, absolute peak. Absolute theater. Or, as the Brits say, absolute cinema, you know? That's how they tend to do it, you know? It's very, not really hyped as much, but it is pretty good, at least in my opinion. But don't keep your hopes up, you know. Don't so to speak. What's the word? Keep your expectations weakened, you know. Keep them low. That's the word. So that way, if you don't like it, well, you're not going to be super excited for something that may not be that good, you know? So I would say keep your expectations low. Anything new coming out, keep your expectations low. Okay? Not just Lego Ninjago, but with any franchises. Any franchise, even if it's your own. You know, because if I was a movie maker, if I was a TV show maker, if I was a video game maker, I would play my own video games, I would watch my own movies, I would watch my own TV shows for the ones that I like, you know? Like, don't get me wrong, there's always going to be, like, movies or TV shows or, you know, video games or books or songs of your own that you may not like. But the audience that you're looking for is you, okay? Like, you at that time. Like, if you're not wanting to watch your own show or your own movie, is it even worth it to make it? You know, if you did make it, is it even worth the watch? You know? Because if I was a movie maker, if I was, you know, making TV shows, I would make TV shows that I would watch, you know, that are realistic for me to make, that kind of thing. And that can do well, that are written well, that are look good, adding the look good, you know, that are aesthetically good too, that are themed good, that are plot good, but especially story good, okay? Yes, plot is pretty popular. Yes, the power was all inside of you is a very common trope in like movies and whatever. But this doesn't really do that per se. You know, it makes him earn his power. Unlike a lot of other TV shows that are like, oh, it was in the power all along, and then they do a little battle, and then, oh, all of a sudden he's instantly powerful. No, he had to face himself. You know, he had to fight himself. Lloyd Garmadon. He had to fight himself. He had to earn his own power just to get the power. And not even to keep it, just to get it. You know? And I'm so glad about that. You know, it's the story of options. What are you gonna do? What is your choice? You know? It's like, what's that one movie called? Where the Iron Giant, it's like if the Iron Giant was good. You know, it was like if it was a good movie. Don't get me wrong, you can like the Iron Giant and all. Not a big fan of it, okay? But what I mean by it was good, I mean like it really wanted to tell a story rather than a drama, you know? Like, that one was kind of dramatic, and that one's just kind of meh. Whereas actual Lego Ninjago, my opinion, my current opinion, peak. Good. Great. Awesome. You know? I just really like it. And also, that upgrade with that dragon, you know, he was kind of like slightly bigger. Then he just got, like, he evolved. He somehow got on like 2 4 legs, and he can use swords now. Like, okay. But at first, I really got worried. I really thought it was just gonna be like, oh, it was in the power of you. It was like, the power was inside of you all along kind of thing. But then he had to earn it, you know? He had to, like I said earlier, like, defeat himself, you know? And then he had to defeat the whatever person, and he was going through it, and he was really, like, trying to earn it. But I have a feeling that that power is going to get taken away from him just like that. Just like that, try to make him earn it again, you know? Not, oh, it was inside of you all along, you just need to realize it. No. Even if he has the power, he's got to earn to keep it, you know? Like, he's fighting back his own thing, his own self. His worst enemy is himself. You know, he's the main character of the show. Now known his full potential, or just realized it, that he is now the elemental master of life. That is crazy. Whereas the movie, he's just the elemental master of green. No, life? Nah, screw that. Green, you know? But yeah, this show is the only real reason why I still have a Netflix subscription. I am not kidding you. Besides that and Mr. Robot, this show is really good, okay? And JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but that's a story for another time. I didn't like that weird, killing the baby scene in the first season. Don't ask questions. Was it a JoJo's reference? Or is it? I don't know. Anyway, I really liked this show. I don't know about you. Tell me your opinion if you watched it. I guess. Anyway, I'm out of here. I got nothing really else to tell with this story. But, hey, what do you gotta do? That's all I got for today, ladies and gentlemen, or whoever you are these days. I am out of here. Bye.